And hello, this is Ralph from Temple of the Infinite, and we're doing a different style of podcast today. I'm out here in the backyard looking at the river, and I thought I'd do what I'm going to be calling a riverside chat. Just sitting out in nature and talking about spiritual topics. Today, the topic is going to be reincarnation. We haven't really spoken on reincarnation in a long time. And so, I thought I'd talk about reincarnation and more specifically about how to begin to recall past lives if you're interested in that sort of thing. And when it comes to reincarnation, I know a lot of people out there may not, they may be interested in reincarnation, they may believe that it is a possibility, but they may not yet have experienced it themselves via past life memories resurfacing or dealing with friends and family members who have the ability to recall past lives. So what I'm going to do in this podcast is just talk a little bit about two methods that a person can use to begin to recall past lives. One is fairly simple. If you are a advanced practitioner of meditation, but I learned this from a spiritual teacher I love, Ajahn Brahm from the Buddhist Society of Southwest Australia. And he was saying that if you want to recall past lives, you can go into a deep state of meditation. And then towards the end of your meditation, when you feel yourself just coming out of the state of meditation, just quietly speak and ask your spirit guides to show to you your past life, one of your past lives. And he said when you get good at this method, you can just say, okay, I want to see my last past life. And then while you're still in a fairly deep state of meditation, if you're not seeing the life that you're interested in, just say, okay, next please, next please, next please, until you get to the past life that you're interested in viewing. Now, that's one method that he recommends. Myself, I've tried that. I have not really had a great deal of success in that. But my method that I like to use, and it's one that comes very natural to me, is recalling past lives in the sleep state. And for me, I operate a little bit like if you've heard of Edgar Cayce, the sleeping prophet that lived, back in the early part of the 20th century. He was quite the psychic. He was quite the one for channeling spirits and spirit guides. But he did most of his work in the sleep state. He would lay down, get very relaxed, and go into a trance. And then, he'd receive his information. Now, what I do in order to get the information that I need from the world of spirit, I generally go into a state of meditation before bedtime and just focus on what it is that I need to know. And then when I come out of the state of meditation, I'll just then go and lay down in the bed and get ready to go to sleep. And then I'll ask Spirit, one more time, give me the answer that I seek. Or, talk to me, speak to me about this question that I have in mind. And then after I drift off to sleep, I've noticed that usually 9 times out of 10, the world of spirit will answer me and send me what I call an instructive dream. And that's how a lot of my past life memories have surfaced. In the beginning, it was quite by accident, or so it seemed. I was just going to bed after meditating. I was once in the habit of meditating first thing in the morning, and then about a half hour at noontime, and then about an hour before I went to bed. And it was during this time that I was practicing, about 3 hours of meditation every day, that I began to recall past lives via dreams that I was receiving. And I'd wake up in the middle of the night and just think, wow, that's pretty wild. And I'd write the dream down and then go back to sleep. And then the next morning, I would go ahead and take the information that I received and then proceed to check it out. Kind of do a little bit of fact checking, so to speak, to see if the dream that I had was in fact a past life recollection, or if it was just a wild dream. But I've noticed in my own experience that when I have teaching dreams or remember past lives in the dream state, it is very much different from just a wild dream. Wild dreams can be about anything and everything and can involve a wide cast of characters. But when I'm remembering a past life via the dream state, it'll be as if I am watching a movie. And I know the main character is me. I mean, I just somehow know it. And I'm watching what's going on, watching what's happening. And then towards the end of the dream, if it's something that is somewhat disturbing, the spirit will tell me that, hey, this was a past life. It's cool now. This was a past life. And then I'll wake up and think, okay, I need to process this. And so that's how I began to remember past lives in the dream state. In the beginning, I didn't really seek it, but I guess the world of spirit just felt that I was ready to be given this information. And that's one thing I've noticed too, is that when I recall past lives via the dream state, usually it will have a bearing on something that I'm going through in this life. And so for me, remembering past lives, it's not, trying to gather material to write a book or make a movie or just say, hey, isn't this cool? I can recall past lives. It's really more of a utilitarian type of a thing where spirit is trying to teach me. And part of the learning teaching process is that I'm given information from a previous life that can instruct me on what I'm going through now in this life. And I think that's kind of cool. It's like, okay, I'm getting a little bit of help, actually quite a little bit of help from past experiences that go back, oh my God, I've had memories going back 2,000 years and memories that go back like maybe 100 years. So yeah, in past lives, I now know I've been knocking around this planet for a very, very long time. And I don't think that I've actually even scratched the surface. I think what I've begun to remember is like the tip of the iceberg. But it has been a very worthwhile learning experience. And if you are in a boat where you want to begin to remember past lives, you can try doing it through the state of meditation, as Ajahn Brahm has discussed in some of his Dharma talks and teachings. Or if that doesn't work, you can try to meditate a little bit before going to bed. And then just before you go to sleep, ask the world of spirit, your spirit guides of your own understanding. Tell them what's on your mind. Tell them what you would like to know. And then just lay down, go to sleep, and keep a notebook handy by your bedside. And so if you notice yourself having a dream that seems to be rather realistic, something like I've described, something in which you feel like you are being taught something, and something where you may be experiencing memories from a previous incarnation, You can, when you wake up, you can will yourself to wake up if you so desire. And you can wake up and then you can write the information down and then go back to sleep. Or if you want to, just stay up, stay awake, and process the information in your own way at that time. But what I like to do when I have dreams, if I can, is to do a little bit of fact checking. One past life memory that I had is it was about it was 1876. I remember that year because I was talking to other people about having gone to the centennial celebration for the United States in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And I remember saying, okay, it was in May of 1876 that I went to the centennial celebration in Philadelphia, and I met President Grant, and he was sober, and I was kind of amused to have met the president. And, he's rumored to have had pretty serious drinking problems. But I was rather amused to be able to say, yeah, I met him and he was sober and we had a great time. And when I woke up from that dream, I was extremely skeptical because I thought, okay, the date, I couldn't narrow it down to a specific date, but I knew that according to my own testimony in the past life recollection, me talking with another group of people, that it was in May of 1876 that I went to the centennial celebration in Philadelphia. Well, I didn't know anything about that event. We never were taught that in school. And when I woke up and I decided to fact check the dream, I thought, okay, this will be an easy one because I know that the centennial celebration for the U.S. in 1876 should have been in July, not in May. So I went to the internet, did a little bit of searching, and found that, yes, indeed, there was a centennial celebration for the United States that was held in Philadelphia, and it was held over a time period of several months. So it started in May of 1876, just like the dream told me, just like the past life memory revealed. And President Grant was indeed there to open the ceremonies. And it was closed, I believe, in August or September. My memory kind of escapes me on that. But of 1876, and President Grant was there at that time too to close out the ceremonies. And what it was that the United States was hosting the World's Fair in Philadelphia in 1876. And while they were hosting it in Philadelphia, they also did a centennial celebration. And a lot of people that attended the World's Fair, they were thinking, okay, we're also celebrating the U.S. centennial. So, 100 years of the birth of the United States. So when I found that out, rather than disproving my dream, I corroborated it. And so if you're interested in remembering past lives, and you do get some hits, either in a state of meditation, or just coming out of meditation, or in the dream state, you can go ahead and check it out. With the internet now, we have a wide variety of information. Some of it is even accurate. But a wide variety of information at our fingertips. And so if you are getting some information that you believe could be past life recollections, you can go ahead and sort it out. Go to the internet, check out your information, see if it pans out, and that can be used to either confirm or disprove what you think you're experiencing. But in my own experience, first I was skeptical when I began to have past life memories, but the more I've gone through it, experienced it, and have had the time to process it, the more I realize that, yeah, it's more than just entertaining type stuff, like telling ghost stories around a campfire. This is actually very valuable and useful information that I can access and then use to kind of make sense of the things that I'm going through in this life, and a further aid to help me learn my lessons in this present incarnation. Now, a last word of perhaps caution, talking about reincarnation memories, is that no matter what method that you use, whether you use the meditation method of recalling past lives or the sleep method of recalling past lives, be aware that sometimes the first thing that you will remember about a past life is how it ended, namely, how you died. And that may be your first memory of a past life, is going through that death experience, or seeing yourself go through the death experience. And when that first happened, in my case, yeah, it was a little bit of I wouldn't exactly say shock, but it caught my attention. But, I've learned over the years to kind of take comfort in that, because being able to recall past life memories and dying in past lives, I find it comforting, because it means looking at death. It's something that I've done before, been there, done that, lived through it. No big deal. And that's one of the beauties of being able to accept reincarnation and being able to access some of the memories of your past lives, is that you come to know, okay, you've lived before and you've died before, and now you've survived that. I mean, you're back here in the earthly plane all over again. So it's a confirmation of something that I used to take by faith. Back before I could remember past lives, by faith, I believed in the immortality of the human soul. By faith, I knew that there was life after death, but I had no solid proof of it, no personal experience of having survived death. But now, recalling past lives, I have that information. And for me, when we're considering the immortality of the human soul, it's no longer something I take by faith. It's something that I have confirmed through my own personal experience, through past life experiences, and through experiences in this incarnation in recalling past lives. So, if you want to start getting on track to remember past lives, be aware that, yeah, it could be somewhat disturbing if the first thing that you remember from a past life is how you died. But also be aware that not everybody is really ready to recall past lives. Not to say that folks who recall past lives are more spiritually advanced than those who can't. I think in my case, especially, knowing now that, these memories are teaching me lessons about what I'm going through in this life, it doesn't put me higher or lower. It just means that maybe I need a little bit more help going through some of the struggles I'm going through, and past life memories resurfacing is one tool that the world of spirit is using to give me a little bit of aid and a little bit of support. But not everybody is really ready to recall past lives. So give it some time. If you're not ready for it, I don't think that you will be granted the ability to recall past lives. So, don't get worried about it. Don't get hung up on it. Don't get fixated on it. When you're ready to know, when you're ready to see, when you're ready to learn, the world of spirit will come through. But if you think you might be ready, then getting into a good meditation practice is a good start, assuming you have not done so already. And, put some time into meditation and, work with it faithfully. Don't just let this be a thing where you try it for a day or two or a night or two, you don't get any results and you just give up. Think long term. Give yourself to the practice of meditation for 6 months and see what happens. And then maybe another 6 months and see what happens. And then maybe a year and see what happens. And just stick with it. And then for you, if it's meant to happen, it will. And if it's meant to happen, whether you're meditating or not, I believe that it will. It may not happen in a state of meditation. It may just happen in a dream state. And I think that's where a lot of people may kind of overlook past life memories. They have a dream. They don't understand that it is a past life memory. And they just write it off. They just think, oh man, that was a wild dream. I was back in the 1800s and this happened to me. And boy, I guess I just ate too much bologna or drank too much beer and I'll never do that again. And a lot of people just write it off. They don't take that kind of dream seriously. But those of us that are on a spiritual path and have been on a spiritual path for a very long time, we begin to understand not just the value of meditation and paying attention to the insights gained in meditation, but also paying attention to our dreams and just taking some time to process those dreams when we remember them, and even taking the time to just practice, waking up after a particularly interesting dream and writing it down while it's still fresh, and then going back to sleep. And then in the morning, go ahead and finish. If you have any more dreams, write those down. And then take some time. Get your morning coffee or tea or whatever you do, whatever your morning routine is, and go over your notes and just see what the dreams were and see if you can figure out, okay, what is the world of spirit trying to tell me? And take your dreams seriously. Because dreams, they're not just recreation for the mind. They can be that. But they can also be a very important tool that the world of spirit uses to reach out, make contact with us, and give us instructions. Maybe a little bit of hope, maybe a little bit of comfort, maybe a little bit of wisdom. So I hope that's helped. I think I'm just going to end this podcast. I can't really think of anything else to say. Just thanks for dropping by. And we'll catch you in future updates on the Temple of the Infinite podcast. And we'll just see how this podcasting style goes. I'm so used to playing music here. It's kind of hard for me to figure out a way to end the podcast. So I'll just end it by saying, thanks for dropping by. We'll catch you later. And may your dreams not just become a reality for you, but may they become a source of knowledge, wisdom, and inspiration for you. God bless. Take care. This is Ralph signing out.